does it say? Oh, it does say live. All right, we're recording. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Couple of Drinks with the Clarks. We are in studio today, and we are very excited.
Very excited.
So much so, I dressed up. I got a T-shirt, and I got a sport jacket, and it's velvet. And of course, because I'm an egomaniac, I have a pin of myself
Of
on
course.
myself.
I have nothing on of you.
Well, that's nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very excited today. We have a pioneer in the business. We have a 2022 inductee to the Bourbon Hall of Fame, a gentleman that does his business his own way without any regrets. And ladies and gentlemen, we are honored to have the owner, the founder of Rabbit Hole Distillery, Mr. Kaveh Zamanian. And there he is.
Thank you, guys.
Beautiful. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm doing well, Matt. You guys are so kind, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Well, hey, listen, we are very excited, very ecstatic.
Thank you.
We of course,
Thank
as you
you.
know, are Rabbit Hole fans, and it's beautiful what you're doing on every level. For me personally, and I know Patty will agree with me, it's really the bottles are elegant. The product obviously is gorgeous. You give people information that some places wouldn't normally give on the side of the bottle. You have everything has a story, and I really love that about the names that you have for your bourbons and rye, as well as your bespoke gin. It's really cool. It's one of those things that, in my mind, if you have a great story, it kind of sells itself to a certain extent. And each one of these bottles has a great story. And we were wondering if maybe you could touch base a little bit upon each name that coincides with each bourbon and whiskey.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, thank you guys for having me on the show. It's always fun to chat with you guys. And I appreciate the kind words. I think it's one of those things where it came in a little bit out of necessity, because when I first started Rabbit Hole, one of the things that I was running into was, how do you differentiate different recipes of bourbon? Because for the most part, average consumer didn't know the difference, or doesn't know the difference between, let's say, a high rye versus a wheated versus a 4-grain, so on and so forth.
Right.
Because we don't have those designations like they do with varietals and wine. So, we thought about basically names that have meaning and resonance for us. And starting with Cavehill, which was my first recipe. Cavehill is the black label, and it is in a cemetery actually just down the street from the distillery here in Louisville, Kentucky. And Cavehill, it might seem like a little morbid to name a bourbon after a cemetery, but it is a very storied place, aside from the fact that we have amazing Kentuckians, Muhammad Ali, Colonel Sanders, a lot of other folks that are resting there. Cavehill is the resting place of the most dead distillers, actually, in the U.S. So for me personally, it really was a way of giving acknowledgement and nod to the people that came before us, that really paved the way for the bourbon industry and what it is today. So that's Cavehill.
That's awesome.
Great. That is awesome.
Yeah, Heigold is the blue label, and that's after a gentleman named Christian Heigold. Christian Heigold moved here he was actually a German immigrant that moved to Louisville in the mid 19th century. And believe it or not, back then we had very similar kind of political issues as we were approaching the Civil War. And Christian Heigold was a very proud patriot, but an immigrant patriot. So he actually made symbols. He was a stone carver, and symbols of his love for America. And his stone carvings are all over Louisville. And believe it or not, most Louisvillians actually don't know Christian Heigold. So this was our way of honoring him, and that spirit of essentially immigrants that moved out west to Kentucky, settled here, Scotch, Irish, French, and German settlers that were really, again, the pioneers of the bourbon industry. And then moving to the next two, we have Derringer. Derringer is our wheated bourbon. And as you know, Rabbit Hole, we're big fans of Lewis Carroll. And Lewis Carroll loves to, or loved to play with words. And that word play, that jabberwacky that he was known for, was the inspiration for us to name the next two products. Derringer is a little bit of a nod to my wife, Heather, who was, as the guys around the table like to say, the daring ringer who got me to go down the rabbit hole.
she hooked you line and sinker, buddy.
She sure did. You know, I mean, it was a pretty risky start with three little ones when we started a little bit over 10 years ago now. So Derringer is a little bit of a nod to Heather. And Boxer Grail. Most people know about Muhammad Ali, obviously, as the world champion that's associated with Louisville. But what people don't know is that we actually have a very, very rich and long tradition of boxing here in Louisville. So that's another play on the Jabberwacky word play of Boxer Grail, a little bit nod to that boxing tradition of Louisville. You know, for me, guys, I really, as a person whose Louisville is now my adopted home, I really want to shed light on Louisville and Kentucky. And this is our way through our products to tell the stories of our city, our home, and be able to help people have a better, greater appreciation for what we're doing here, but mostly for our community. So that's really the spirit behind these names.
Very cool. You know, that, and the cool thing too is if my memory serves me correctly, the rye that is in High Gold, that comes from Germany also, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a
kind of a nice little matchup.
Yeah. The ingredients too. We try to get the ingredients and the names in some ways echo the same sentiment. So you're absolutely right, Matt. The partnership we have is with a very old malting house in Germany, and the 25% malted rye that we have comes from there.
That's awesome.
That's really awesome.
Like I said, it's one of those things that we truly do enjoy these. And of course, we're doing 30 days of bourbon. Your day number 6.
Okay.
Our first guest.
Yes, our first guest of the month. And we are very excited. And we are going to use, so we started the 30 days of bourbon. We started it with Rabbit Hole High Gold. So we're going to move into Cavehill today, and we're going to taste that with you, if that's okay.
Of course, love it. Yeah. Love it.
So
I got my bottle here too, so I'm pouring with you.
I guess my question would be, because I always love to know about this, is what makes one decide that they would want to go into the bourbon business? Because I mean, it for me personally, I mean, did you just sit down one day and be like, you know what? I love bourbon so much, I have to make my own.
Normally it's like this. It's like in the wine industry. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn here, but in the wine industry, how you create a small fortune is you start with a large fortune and then you open a winery. Is that kind of the way it is with a distillery?
No, you know, actually it's for me, at least, it was the other way around, because, you know, as a psychologist, I did not have a large fortune. I can tell you that. But, you know, we were making a nice living. It was mostly, for me, it was about passion for bourbon. I cut my teeth in the hospitality business when I was a kid, put myself through school working in bars and restaurants. You know, I always thought that wine and spirits, just like food, is one of the best things we do as people. It's about bringing people together, celebrating. And there's something really just amazing about being able to lay down a product, make a product that can be appreciated even long after you're gone. You know, I'm laying down a lot of whiskey now, and most of the whiskey I'm never, ever going to taste because they're not going to be, you know, and it's such a joy to see that we can create something that other
It's gonna
people can
live on. Yeah.
enjoy. And
Right.
that really, for me, was Patty. One of the things that was really kind of the inspiration behind getting into the bourbon business, because and believe it or not, I mean, I started thinking about it about 11, 12 years ago. There was not a whole lot going on, not the same amount of intensity and energy that we see now around bourbon 10, 12 years ago. So it was, it was at the time I felt like, we're doing something very similar to what the craft beer guys were doing in those early days. The vision was relatively small. I wanted to just make good whiskey and hopefully, get a small group of folks to fall in love with it. But as time went on, it just became more and more expansive, and it is what it is today. Mainly because I realized that if you really want to be able to have the reach that we have with Rabbit Hole, you got to have the facility and the infrastructure to be able to scale the business. So just the vision kind of expanded, but it started with just honestly just the love of bringing people together.
So Cavehill was your first, correct?
Yeah. This one was the first. In those early days, I just started getting my hands on whatever book I can find, and I reached out to a bunch of local, veterans in the industry. Larry Ebersol was one of the first guys that I talked to. He was actually the master distiller at Wild Turkey for a period of time. Before that, he was at Seagram's, and Larry was kind enough to meet with me, and there was other folks, and these guys started, coming down to my actually house around the kitchen table just upstairs. We were tasting whiskey, and
Great.
and I was throwing out different ideas. And Cavehill was one of the recipes that I came up with. And Larry was actually the first person I shared it with, which was a little scary sharing it with him, not knowing exactly what his reaction is going to be. But
Right.
but here it is.
Yeah, you're sharing it with a hero, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
you're thinking like, oh, please like it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I do. These are two of my favorites, but I always kind of lean in on Derringer, and I do because I'm very much a sherry finished person, and I love the fact that the wood that is created for the barrels has more frequent flyer miles than the three of us put together.
That's right. That's right.
You know,
That's right.
so first starts out here in Ohio, right?
Yep.
As wood, then it ships over to Spain. They create it into a barrel. They put Pedro Jimenez sherry in it.
Yep.
Then when they're done aging the sherry, they send it back to you.
Yeah, after 2 years. 2
Yeah,
years,
after
the
2 years.
sherry's aging in the barrel for 2 years to season it really well, and then they harvest the sherry and send the barrels to us. And it is exactly right, Matt. It's a great story of connectivity between, Ohio, Spain, back to Kentucky. It's just fantastic.
Yeah, I love that. Well, let's have some Cavehill, sir.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, sir.
Thank you again. Thank you for being with us tonight.
Of course, it's a pleasure. So, this is a very unique mash bill. You got corn as the base,
Right.
and you have three different ingredients. So you have malted wheat, malted barley, and honey malted barley. So, the idea behind it when I came up with this was to see if we can basically make a bourbon expression that's a little bit more approachable. And
Yeah.
that's where the honey malted barley came in to soften
love
it
that.
up.
So good.
Love that. And I forget we've done a cocktail with it's like the bee's knees with your gin,
Yeah.
but we've made that kind of recipe. I forget what it's called when it's made with bourbon, and oh my god, that honey really just
It comes through.
so
Yes.
much. And I also love the fact that you give some shout outs to Kelvin Cooperage on your bottles too.
Yeah, I'm very proud of these partnerships. I think, especially in this day and age, it's easy to lose sight of how many people go into to making a great product, right? And that's part of the reason that we don't really have a designated master distiller, which is something that sometimes people find unusual. But the reason behind it is that I genuinely believe that it takes a collective, it takes a group of people to come together to make a great product. It's not just one person. So Um, Kelvin Cooperage Cascanolia with the Derringer product. We're very, very proud of those Cooperage partnerships.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to be able to get to Kentucky together before my illness.
Yeah.
But we were able to go and have a tour at Rabbit Hole, and we saw a lot of, where that stuff happens. We saw the room where you guys collectively sit and
Yeah, that's
create.
all. That distillery is
It's gorgeous.
absolutely beautiful. There's no other. I mean, it's top notch.
Yeah. Love the
gorgeous.
overlook. Love and
Yeah.
the Van Dome still that's
Yeah.
in the middle is just a gorgeous centerpiece.
Yeah.
I think on your the photo we used, it's you standing by that, and that's just amazing.
Yeah.
The amount of copper.
Wow, it is. If you ever have a chance to get to Kentucky, you have to visit.
You know what? I think I'm going to.
Oh, whatever. Whatever.
Well, you guys,
I'll be down there on the 22nd.
You'll be down there at the end of this month, and I won't be.
I just found out last week, so yeah.
Well, listen, you guys always have a standing invitation. You know that it's your home.
Aw.
So anytime you
Thank
like,
you.
you're our
Yeah,
guest.
listen,
Thank you.
like I said, we are big fans, and one of the things that when we first started doing this, a couple of years ago, and over 200 plus videos, we really enjoyed, doing shows with Rabbit Hole. I mean, it's your products just are so easy to work with, and they create great cocktails, and it's
The comments every time we do a show with it, but they talk about how elevated this bourbon is, and how wonderful it is, and how it tastes, and how great it is. I mean, nothing but great things to say.
And
about
the
it.
cool thing too is the feedback that we've gotten was like, hey, watch your show, checked out Rabbit Hole, love it, and it's stuff like that
Mhm.
we're it's in our minds that's we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I'm telling you, that's music to my ears. Thank you. I can't tell you how gratifying it is to hear people enjoy what we make, and to be able to talk about it and share it. Because as you guys know, it's a crowded marketplace. There's a lot of great whiskey makers. There's a lot of great bourbons out there. So for folks to be able to give us a shout out, it means that we're doing
Absolutely.
something right.
Well, the nice thing about the bourbon people is there's a lot of like, hey, I'm trying this, hey, I'm trying that, and then you have the people who are chasing delivery trucks for certain items, whatever. You do that when we have plenty of this stuff. But yeah, I mean, you're doing great things, and we truly appreciate I guess the sentiment that you have with creating these products and surrounding yourself with great people, and the collective that you have that helps create these brands. It's very unique, and it's like you're like you had a slogan, never turn back type thing, and
Yeah.
it's you don't have to when you have these brands behind you. It's very easy to walk around with your head high, and listen also too, congratulations on your Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Listen,
Huge.
the studio audience loves it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Guys, it really was quite a surprise for me. I think it's just I'm quite honestly really shocked. But it's a privilege to be part of the group, and when they told me about it, I was completely floored. It's just such a stellar group of folks, and to be selected to be a part of these amazing folks that really genuinely are my own heroes. It's just
And it's
surreal.
And then, well, they were shut down for a couple of years due to COVID. So this is technically their 10th year for the Hall of Fame. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think what's also special about it this year, from what I understand, is that it was the year where only the past Hall of Famers actually were voting.
Oh wow!
And I think to me that even takes it to a whole
That's
other level.
huge. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's even
I know, right? That gets you.
Yeah, I mean that's honestly that's what really means so much to me that my colleagues and folks that I admire and respect feel that I um, should be next to them. It's an absolute honor.
So let me ask you this
Absolutely.
question. So does it feel like you're the kid? You know what I mean? You've got these guys that have been around for a long time. They're like, hey, this kid's doing great stuff. You know what I mean?
Well, listen, in some ways it does because I got to tell you, I was actually shocked to hear that Julian Van Winkle is getting inducted this year,
Yeah,
and I thought that he would have been in by now.
right.
To be with a veteran like Julian it is really surreal. I can't believe it, guys. Yeah, I think in some ways you can say I'm the new kid on the block or the kid
New
on the
kid on the block. Yeah.
So let me ask you this, because there's, I always ask the different questions. The
While she's doing
personal-
that, I'm
the
going to start with a
personal
paper plane, if
questions.
that's okay.
So
Please,
Matt
please.
said that you have a slogan or never look back. Is that what it is?
There's no going back. There's
There's
going
no
back.
going back. Okay. At any point in this process, did you feel like you were just like, oh my God, this is just gonna take for obviously you need patience in this business. You said it's been a 10 years, in the
Yeah.
making and all of that. And I guess for people that are trying to build a dream like you are, like you have done, and I mean, is there a point where you're just like, it just seems like it's never gonna happen? Did you ever feel that?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, look, in those early years, I got to tell you, there was a lot of nights that I was on my hands and knees praying to
Yep.
anybody that I can pray to because
Yep.
it's a pretty risky proposition to lay down whiskey, not knowing exactly how it's going to turn out 4 or
Right.
5 years later, right? So for
Okay.
me, probably the biggest risk was the fact that I wanted to make bourbon that was distinct. We didn't source the products. We had to find a distillery to make the products for us while we were building the distillery, but I didn't go buy aged liquid, right? So that was probably the riskiest part of the rabbit hole early years. Now a lot of folks that are getting in the business, they're going out there and buying aged products
Sure.
and they're blending it. And there's a lot of great, new brands that are coming to market using that methodology.
Right.
But for me, the riskiest thing was because I wanted to make original whiskey expressions. I wanted my own recipes. That's what actually was really what prompted Heather to say, she used to say, how do you know these recipes are going to be any good? And I mean, I'm looking at her going, I have no
Right.
idea because we got to wait.
Yeah, I mean, because if you taste it
I
before it
love
goes,
her that she asked that, because that's the question I'd be like you.
Yeah.
How do you know it's gonna be any good?
because I'm a good cook, honey. And the thing is too is, if you taste, distilled product prior to going in the barrel, you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
what that? I mean, a lot of times, like, what the heck is that?
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
I mean, they call it what? White dog?
Yeah, the white dog is.
Sometimes it tastes like wet dog.
Definitely. I mean, it's distinct. You can get some sense of direction in terms of the nose and a little bit of the taste, but you're right. I mean, it's not mature. It's not doesn't have the benefit of the wood and the maturation that process that you get putting in the barrel. So it's risky
Right.
because the other thing about it is that you just don't know what the barrel is going to do to the liquid. You know,
Right.
you have some sense of it initially, but it's a gamble. So
Well,
that was Patty, the probably the riskiest part of the whole proposition, and not knowing if all the work that we're doing is going to even pay off.
Yeah, there's so many
No.
variables with.
Mhm.
I mean, so basically, 51% corn. Then it could be rye, barley, or wheat
Yep.
is bourbon,
Yep.
and it has to be aged at least 2 years,
Mhm.
right?
That's right. To be called
For a
straight
Kentucky straight bourbon, it has to be in Kentucky.
Yep. Yep.
So at least minimum 2 years, you're putting all your money into something that's not going to give you anything back
That's right.
for at least 2 years, possibly longer.
Yep.
So that, I mean, that's a huge gamble. And And hey, listen, thank God it paid off, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, it's
And I'm
good.
sure Heather's like, thank God it paid off
I
too.
know.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Now, if your wife is anything like me, I would have been like, honey, I would never doubted you at all.
Yeah, listen,
After I asked him a million times, I'm not sure this is a good idea. I
Yeah.
don't know what you're doing.
yeah, Kaveh, I think we married sisters, buddy.
no, I know. Listen, I mean, this is, I couldn't have done it without her, right? I think I talk about it with some of my buddies from college or high school, even. They're like, 9 out of 10 guys, their spouse would have said, "You're out of your mind. Forget
Right.
about it. It's a deal breaker." So the fact that she was able to stand by my side and support me
That's great.
and kind of jump down the rabbit hole together, not a whole lot of partners will do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well,
That's awesome.
well, we've done our thing together. So who knows what's gonna
quit.
happen?
I'm out.
This is her swan song. So while we were talking, we put together a paper plane with the ingredients that we have. So we're doing Campari. I'm not sorry, not
And
Campari.
this is your favorite drink, right?
This is
It is.
Aperol.
Yeah.
This is Averna Amaro, which we don't have the nonino, but no nonino. I speak Italian too.
It's good. I like it.
And then of course, Cavehill for the bourbon. So and now we shake.
Oh, you mixed it all.
Yes,
right?
while you were talking,
Wow.
I'm fast.
He's working it. He's working it.
Oh yeah,
there.
you're right. Lemon juice. Sorry, my
Oh
bad.
yeah, lemon
Kaveh.
juice. I was going to tell you that. Yeah, lemon juice is
Yeah.
another part.
Yeah. Otherwise, see, she saves my skin again.
I wasn't sure if you wanted, but I have my ingredients here too. I was going to
Yay!
make it.
Do it.
Yes,
Hey, listen,
have one with
You
us.
do whatever you gotta do, buddy. We're with you. All
Yeah,
right.
no,
So,
I'm going to do this.
and now we shake.
We will wait.
Yeah, this is a great cocktail, summer cocktail. If you want to use bourbon, generally in the summertime with the heat, I like something a little bit more refreshing, and paper plane is fantastic.
So we have our own little paper plane glasses.
I love
See
it.
these? Check this out, buddy.
Oh,
Little
That's
rabbit
nice.
hole paper planes, buddy.
that's nice.
We don't mess around here, sir.
So when my husband comes down there at the end of this month, will you please
He's not
tell
going to
him-
be there. He's
Oh.
busy.
Well,
It's
somebody
fine.
make sure he gets me some merch this time because he got sick last time and we had to leave.
And we didn't
Kentucky
get any
early,
merch. I'll
so
get you merch.
I
honey.
want t-shirts and all that good stuff.
I have a drink with Ashley at the bar. We're going to get you some merch.
Yes.
So this
Yeah,
should be a little bit more orange, but that's okay. It's still going to be gorgeous. Oh, I did a lot. Hello.
That's all right. I'm up for drinking it. I had a long day at work today.
And of course, we're using our elevator craft cocktail shaker.
Today was my
Love it.
Monday because we were off yesterday for the holiday. How about you guys? Were you open yesterday or closed or?
No, yesterday we were closed, opened up today, but Mondays we're actually generally closed anyhow.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the only day that we're not working.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Did you make yours yet?
Oh,
Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you
Cheers.
so
Cheers, buddy.
much.
oh wow. Don't poke your eye out, honey.
Come on.
What do you think?
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Love that. That lemon juice and a little bit of the Aperol back there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
And you know what? The Averna really does work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can substitute that. Definitely.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
not only that, but it's in our house. So we're happy.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, so Kaveh, we've got these things coming up, buddy. I'm gonna get
Oh, I
you one
love
of
it.
these.
I love
It's
it.
a bourbon shirt. It tells you how to pronounce it, of course, which I'm sure you're fine. However, it tells some different definitions. So
Okay.
All right.
so we have the usual definition, and then the
Surprise
second
definition. at the
second
bottom.
definition is the best. Magical brown liquid that makes me awesome.
Ooh, I like that.
Okay. And then number 3 is America's native spirit, enjoyed by everyone. And then if you use bourbon in a sentence, this is how it goes. It says, throw grandma down the stairs, some bourbon.
I'm actually going, when you're coming out of here, we just opened up a few international markets.
Oh, cool.
Yay.
Going to France and going to England
Wow.
for these openings. I'm
I
going
can
to
meet you there.
Well, there you go. But I'm going to need a few of those T-shirts to educate the Europeans on bourbon.
There you
Absolutely,
go. You got it.
yeah. We'll definitely send you one. I gotta tell you, this cocktail's great.
Oh
You
my
know,
God, this
and the
cocktail's
thing is that
amazing.
we started the whole um Bourbon Heritage Month thing last year. And
Okay.
I said to Patty, I go, I think we're going to do Bourbon Heritage Month. I think we're going to do 30 days of bourbon. And she goes, oh, really? And it
Because
kind
I
of,
didn't think we even had 30 bourbons.
oh no,
I'm like,
there's
do we have 30 bourbons?
we have way more than that. Can you see? Um,
Oh,
but the thing is we started researching, some different cocktails, and man, there's some great cocktails that have been around.
yeah.
Like this has been around for a while. The Bouvardier. I've never had one of those in my entire life till we recently did one of those on our show.
Yep.
Then there's the Sazerac. I've never had a Sazerac in my life,
Yeah,
which
that's good.
I mean, we're going to do that one as well. But it's there's so much that bourbon can do. It's not just necessarily neat, but hey, listen, we appreciate you drinking it neat.
Of course.
We just did a show the other day, and it was Patty's idea to do a bourbon margarita.
Oh yeah.
And the
And
thing
there
is,
are-
yeah.
it works.
So
Yeah,
for,
yeah.
for someone like myself, and I'll say this to anybody, when you're drinking and I'll call this an elevated bourbon because it's very I love rabbit hole bourbon, all of them. I love them all. And my husband could sit there and drink it neat all day long, and I can't drink it neat all day long. I can start neat, but then I want it mixed with something.
Yeah,
I
she
want
wants
a
a
little bit.
cocktail.
I want a cocktail.
Yeah.
So I tend to get myself in trouble if I don't put it in a cocktail.
And sometimes she does too.
So to buy a good quality bourbon to have where he can drink it neat and I can have it in a cocktail, and it's like when they say cooking with wine, don't use anything cheap. If you're going to mix a bourbon cocktail, you want good bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
good
we've
other
made-
ingredients
and
as
good
well.
other ingredients as well. Absolutely. We've made great cocktails with Rabbit Hole, and we also drink it neat.
Well,
I mean-
Patty, it's interesting you say that because that was part of the reason, very intentionally, we proofed the products at a higher proof. So Cavehill is 95 proof.
Mhm.
The reason being because I want the flavor of the whiskey to come through, even when you're mixing it with different ingredients.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, and I think to the versatility piece that you mentioned, I tell this that even traditional cocktails that don't use bourbon, like Sundays, I can't tell you. I don't even remember when was the last time I made Bloody Mary with vodka. I've been drinking Bloody Mary with bourbon for the last
Wow.
several years. It's called Bloody Kentucky. And what I would say is that put the bourbon in there, put a little bit more bourbon, a little bit less tomato juice. And I'm telling you, especially with either Cavehill or High Gold, that taste will come through.
Wow.
And it's just beautiful. Beautiful.
doing-
You're gonna have to do that
I'm
one.
doing a
I'm not
show.
a big
I'm
Bloody
doing a
Mary
show
guy.
with that. You better believe I'm doing a show with that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I-
You've always wanted to do a
Well,
Bloody Mary show. There
And
you
here's
have
the
it.
thing. For my husband to tell me that last year that we were going to do 30 straight days of bourbon, I'm like, man, I don't think I can do 30 straight days. I'm not a bourbon drinker, but you like it. You tend to like it. I love bourbon now. I never in a million years thought I could ever take bourbon neat and drink it. Good bourbon, I can.
Right.
I love it. I love it. And
Well,
then
the
to put
thing
it in a
too-
cocktail,
Oh,
it
yeah.
just is even, it's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah,
you
the
know,
thing too is the fact that when we started our show, I said, all right, we're gonna drink neat. We're gonna drink whiskey neat.
Right,
We're gonna drink
right.
tequila.
Right.
Everything we're gonna try by itself. We even tried Ray and Nephew's high overproof rum neat. Kaveh,
Yeah,
that was a show and a half, buddy. And so we tried things neat, and then we make a cocktail. So
Right.
so we know exactly what that product's doing within the cocktail. So
Exactly.
it's not just throwing cocktails against the
Right.
wall to see what sticks. It's starting with great ingredients and adding things, and we make our own syrups and stuff. And that was one of the things I started doing with the pandemic. Is I decided, well, the way to elevate some of the cocktails is to have my hand on some of the ingredients that were going to be put in. You can, I mean, just you can buy a simple syrup in the grocery store, but to have it your own and make it either a semi-rich or a rich syrup, you really can control everything that goes into that cocktail. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things we started doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's one of the things that excites me about bourbon, because I think the movement away from vodka towards bourbon, as an example, or tequila for that matter, is
Right.
that you want the ingredients. And this is what's exciting for me. Consumers want to taste the product now, as opposed to a flavorless, if you would, spirit. That's the beauty of spirits like bourbon or tequila, where you taste the ingredients. And
Right.
my motto, guys, is drink less, drink better. It's
Right.
not about getting
Exactly.
drunk. It's really about enjoying the imbibing
Exactly.
experience. So why mess around with something that doesn't, it's
Yep.
just not quality.
I am so happy that he always made me taste everything neat. And then we made a cocktail. It makes a world of difference for me now. I actually respect it so much more.
Yeah, we've even been to restaurants where we were at one recently where they had this margarita. We're like, hey, we're in the mood for a margarita, sure. And we're like, hey, can we get it with Espolon? And they're like, no, we have it already pre-made with our house brand. And I'm like, all right, moving along.
Yeah.
Yeah,
know
I'll
what I
have
mean?
a glass of wine.
I mean, listen. If I'm gonna drink tequila or
Yeah.
something, I'm gonna have something that's a call brand.
It
That's
makes a big difference.
Oh, absolutely.
$8 tequila. You know what that does to you?
Right.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Especially, cocktails are not cheap anymore. When you
No.
go out, you want to get a quality product, because, like you
Yep.
said, you don't want to get a headache, you don't want to have a bad experience,
No.
and you really want the taste to come across. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We absolutely love it. And listen, like I said, we won't keep you. We truly
We are
appreciate this
so thankful.
so much.
So
And,
thankful.
oh my God, thank you guys.
you are a hero of ours, and we appreciate you. And we love what you're doing, and we're actually friends with your wife on Instagram as well, and
She loves you guys, by the way.
Listen, thank you so
Well,
much.
she and I have a connection now, and now we have a connection.
I can see it now. We'll be coming down for Thanksgiving.
100%. Come on down.
But yeah, so anyway,
And
Kaveh,
we're so happy for you.
Yes,
You
it is.
deserve all
you.
of the greatest things that are coming your way, because they are.
yes.
And you absolutely deserve them.
Does that
You have
mean
worked.
me going down there on
No,
the
it has
22nd?
nothing
Oh,
to do with you.
okay.
It means both of you guys coming down here for Thanksgiving dinner. We'll do a show around here on the.
Oh, that'd be great.
But
The
seriously,
problem is, though, Kaveh, I do all the cooking here, so
Yeah.
I can't do
you
that.
deserve all the best.
Yes,
and you've
you-
worked so hard for it. And if anybody
are happy for
anybody
you.
has
Yeah.
even tasted your bourbon, they know how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
and
and we love the place. We love everything about it.
everything. It's
And
beautiful.
like I said, everything you're doing the right way, and it
Yep.
shows. And
Yep.
you surround yourself with great people, and it's a great thing.
Yep.
And we truly appreciate coming along for the ride.
Yep.
And we might be out there a little fringe, but we truly care, and we are there for you. And that's pretty
Look,
much
guys,
it.
I really appreciate it. It's folks like yourself that help us get the word out. And like you said, it takes a team. And I'm blessed to have an incredible team, and a culture that really is about just coming together and working together, and set the egos aside. In fact,
Yep.
that's our number one motto. Check your ego at the door before you walk in the room, because it's about
Beautiful.
coming together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well,
Well,
thank you.
ladies and gentlemen, we thank Kaveh for coming on, and also to again, congratulations on your induction
Congratulations.
into
You deserve it.
2022 class of the Bourbon Hall of Fame. Sir, you totally deserve it. And cheers to you.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers
Cheers.
to
Thank you.
you. Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Take care.
Take
You
care.
too.
Kaveh.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Hope to see you soon in person.
Absolutely. We can't wait.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, there you have it, folks. Our show, Bourbon Heritage Month, day
awesome.
6. He is
He's
the great.
nicest
He is the greatest man.
guy.
And
We've met
you know
him
what?
In person. We've met him through Zoom calls.
I hope we don't scare him because we
He
love
has
him that much.
surprised us on our shows before.
Yes.
He is so
Truly, salt of the earth type thing.
genuinely
Beautiful man. Yeah.
beautiful man.
Okay.
Cheers to you, Kaveh.
he's so scared of us right now.
He's not scared of us.
No, I'm joking.
He
I'm
is
joking. Anyway, folks, Bourbon
should be
Heritage.
scared of me.
I am horribly. Ladies and gentlemen, this was Bourbon Heritage Month. This is our special guest edition. We can't thank you enough for everything you do. Ladies and gentlemen who are following us, who are commenting and everything. This
love
is like
you.
virtual hug from us. We love you.
Contests are coming. Giveaways.
We're going to
are
be giving
coming.
away one of these beautiful apparatus and as well one of those beautiful apparatuses. Is that a thing? Apparatus?
I don't know.
So, ladies and gentlemen, you will get your own personalized. You'll have to tell them what you'd like. But, oh no, you're going to get one of ours. No, never mind. Never mind what you want.
You're going to get our mugs.
You're going to get what we
smoker.
want. You're going to get a beautiful Nimbus cocktail smoker. Look at this
We'll
thing.
be posting the giveaways.
Yes.
All right, honey. Never
And some shirts and some
shirts.
merch
Okay.
for
All right.
putting up with
Wrap
us
it
for
up.
30 days. I'm wrapping it up too. Get the hook, right?
Come on.
Anyway, folks.
Come on. Mama's had some bourbon.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Send help. I'm blinking because I'm in danger. Blink if you're in danger. Anyway, folks, listen, cheers, love
Cheers.
you.
I love you too.
Cheers,
Cheers,
love you.
everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Have a good evening.